Hello YouTube and welcome back to Let's Play Bloons Defense 5 Deluxe Edition. So, even though yesterday, on Wednesday, I didn't record extra for Thursday and Friday, on Thursday I'm going to record for Thursday and Friday. If that made sense. Alright, so next we're going to the brick wall. And let's see, you can go on hard. Not reverse because there's no real reason to go on reverse because this is the same track, reverse or non-reverse. And you know what? I'm going to use a Buccaneer. Why? Because they're cool. And because they can pop all balloon types when they're well, not fully upgraded, but when they're upgraded to the second tier of their right side. And really, if they're upgraded to the third tier of their right side, they're also able to pop all types of balloons. However, with the Dreadnought ability, with the Dreadnought ability, you're able to pop all types of balloons, with just the camo detection because the Dreadnought allows you to pop lead. So anyways, let's see, grape shot once the other balloons are out of the way. And of course this is the problem with this strategy because then you have to wait for the other balloon to come all the way back down. Alright, so I was going to say I probably should have built it on this side, but this side is okay just because you're able to pop it when it's right here at the beginning, but obviously there's going to be some points when I'm not able to pop all of them and they're going to go all the way around, come back, and then come down here and get popped again, and when you still get through, then go around here, then come around back, and then get popped again. So now that I have that crow's nest, allows the Buccaneer to detect and target camo balloons, does not grant detection to other towers, unless you have a specialty building, then it's able to pop all blue types. Now, another interesting thing is that the specialty building for the Buccaneer, which is actually something I kind of want to get now, and now that I think about it, will allow the Buccaneer to have automatic camo detection just innately, and then the crow's nest ability allows all the towers within the range of the Buccaneer to also have camo detection. So it's a pretty interesting combo, especially when you combine it with the Dreadnought ability, which obviously, like I said earlier, allows you to pop lead. So that would actually mean that the Buccaneer in its basic state with the specialty building and the Dreadnought ability are able to pop all balloon types. Which is pretty interesting, because then if you were to just spam a bunch of Buccaneers on like a water level or something, then that'd be pretty cool, because I need, I mean obviously it would be best if you upgraded them a lot, but just having the plain Buccaneer would be able to pop all the balloons, so that's interesting. Anyways, so now we're getting faster shooting, shoots faster, very self-explanatory, and of course it shows the darts, because normally it shoots darts, but because of the Dreadnought it shoots out a cannonball. Longer cannons, much longer range, which I would think that would be larger cannons, but I don't know. Now I've got a little bit longer range. I wasn't really looking at it when the range increased, so I don't know exactly how much it increased, but it's kind of a lot, I guess. It does have pretty good range, the Buccaneer, so that's good, because water obviously isn't all over the place, so it's nice to have range, I guess. Alright, so now I'm just going to wait and wait and wait until I have enough money to get the destroyer, because then I'll really have a fast attack speed and I'll be able to destroy a lot more balloons. That's why it's called the destroyer. And then I'll start working on more Buccaneers, because those are really good towers. And I'm trying to not just spam a bunch of boomerangs, glaive ricochet like I used to. Now, again, I don't know why I always say again when I'm talking about stuff. Sorry, I just got lost in a train of thought for a second. I started thinking back to my childhood, and anyways, let's see, what was I going to say? Something about, at this point, when I'm just sitting here waiting, would you prefer if I just fast forward through these things just to shorten the video length, because I also have no idea what to talk about, because right now there's no real point in talking about strategy, because there's nothing really to talk about. I'm just going to be building a bunch of Buccaneers because they are able to pop every balloon type and they have really good attack speed, so they're decent against MOABs. So if I've got like 5 or 6, that's a pretty good defense against the MOABs. But obviously I'm going to need more because there's a lot of balloons, so I'm going to need something else. Thinking about getting a glaive ricochet right here. I was about to point at the screen, but obviously you can't tell where I'm pointing. If I place them here, then when the balloons come around this side, then the glaive ricochet will be able to pop around it. Or I could get an ice tower right here with the, not Arctic Frost, Arctic Wind, Viral Frost, one of those here, and then Glaive Ricochet around it, so that the balloons would be slower as they come around this side, and then Glaive Ricochet would be more able to pop through it, I guess. But I don't know. I was gonna say, what do you think? Post in the comments. Maybe I'll somehow time travel, read it, and then come back here and finish the level. But all right. Another thing that I guess I should mention is the song that I'm using for December in all of my videos is Intertwined. Also, like all the other songs, is by my brother. And man, I just realized how dusty my desk is. That is ridiculous. But anyways, that song, it's not really the most exciting upbeat song in the world, which it doesn't mean it's a bad song. It's a great song. It's just not really upbeat and fast-forwardy. So I'm kind of thinking, I'm almost debating changing the song choice midway through December, even though, well, what day is it? It's the 5th for me, so 6th for you, and 7th, 8th, like on the 9th. Monday's the 9th. Anyways, what am I even talking about? Destroyer, almost ready, and then I really won't have to worry about many balloons for a while. Come on, almost done. And for some reason, when I said many balloons, I was thinking many moons, and that made me think of a blue moon, which made me think of Island of the Blue Dolphins, which is a really sad book, which is a lot sadder than I thought it was when I first read it, and then I haven't read it since the time that I first read it, but then now that I'm older and I think about it, that's a really sad book. Some of you may have to read it in school or something. Maybe. Island of the Blue Dolphins. Like I said, that's a sad book. And I was about to say, oh, it's so sad when such and such happens, but that would kind of be a big spoiler. If you haven't read the book and or you are thinking about it, or you've never heard of it and you think I'm crazy. I definitely would recommend that you read the book, Island of the Blue Dolphins. Don't know who it's by, but it's a really good book. Especially, I guess, for people that can appreciate how good, I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. Another good book that I would recommend is Hatchet. Again, I don't know who it's by because I read it in school years ago, back when I didn't care about books, which, I mean, actually I care more about books back then than I do now. Not necessarily that books are bad. I think reading is great, but I just don't have the patience. I mean, not anymore. Short attention span and all that. It needs to be a book that I really care about. Like, alright, so again, I'm not going to be talking about balloons very much this episode because I'm just going to be building a bunch of Buccaneers and that doesn't really need much explanation. But I guess as far as like any marketing strategies, I guess, the movies that I watch, generally, I watch them because they're part of a series, like the Avengers series or any superhero movie, really. Basically, any movie that I know has a history of being part of a series that I've enjoyed, that's the reason why I would watch a movie, or if the concept is really just amazing enough for me to really want to watch it, which isn't really that often in movies. And also for video games, generally, I'm going to buy every Pokemon game that ever comes out, ever. Like, not Pokemon in general, but like the main series of Pokemon. And I'm generally going to want to at least play every Mario game that ever comes out. And I'm definitely going to try to play every Zelda game that ever comes out. Just because those games, I have a history with them, and I've played so many that now I know that any game, regardless of how good it is, it's going to have some features that are similar and are going to, you know, remind me of it. And I trust Nintendo. I think they make good games. So it's just, like, because I have that sort of safety of, oh yeah, I've ordered this bean burrito before, I'll get the bean burrito again type of thing. It's kind of hard for new companies, like indie games, to come out with a new game or something that's really going to catch my attention in general. I'm assuming this is kind of true for most consumers, I guess, but at least for me in particular, it definitely feels like the best way to get me to buy something is to make it a sequel of something I've already bought type of thing, which I'm sure a lot of people are like, what? No, you should experience new things and support the indie developer people that don't have a history, and I get that. But no, a lot of games that I've played, I guess, or actually haven't. See, I'd consider myself a gamer because I do play a lot of games, a lot, but generally I don't play a lot of variety of games, and I don't tend to play bad games just because I tend to stick with what I'm comfortable with, and then I tend to research games a lot. there are a few games that I played where they were just some random game that was on sale on Steam, and I was like, you know what, might as well, it's like $5, I'll probably end up regretting it, but who cares? And I start playing it, and I'm like, this game just doesn't really cut it for me. Like, it's not engaging enough. It doesn't have enough good to make me overlook the bad, I guess, or not even just the bad, but just the bland. So that's why I tend to stick with Mario, Kirby, Legend of Zelda type of games, just because they have that sort of nostalgia factor, and they generally have collectibles that I have to follow, or a storyline that I have to follow, and just the fact that it's a Zelda game, or a Mario game, or a Kirby game, like, that's what keeps me wanting to play it, regardless of the actual gameplay. Like, obviously, if it's a really terrible game, then I'm not going to play it, even if it is a Mario game, but, like, generally, they're good enough to make me enjoy playing it, even if it's not amazing. But if it's a game that I have no connection to, that's just some random new game, and it doesn't have something amazing in it, it's probably not going to hold my attention. And the whole reason I got started on this is because of books, and it's pretty much the same thing with books. Like the Artemis Fowl series, I love that book series, even though it's over, but I still love it. And it'd be great if they made a movie and actually did it well, like something more along the lines of like an awesome Harry Potter film, not like a Percy Jackson film, which is, I've watched the Percy Jackson, the first film, and I never read the book, so it's one of those things where you watch the movie, never read the book, and it's like, oh, well, I think it's good, and then all the fans are like, what? No, that was terrible, you totally missed the point, blah, blah, blah. I get that, but it was a decent movie as far as movies go. But then obviously Harry Potter was kind of good in both respects, but I know that there's plenty of stuff that the movie left out or changed from the book and all that, and fans go crazy. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. Just gonna build this ice tower here to get the Arctic wind eventually, and then that'll help out there. Which actually I just realized that's not going to do anything for camo balloons, which isn't really a problem because these 4 destroyers are going to be pretty good, obviously, at destroying everything, but the Arctic wind, and wow, 7,000! That's really expensive, just because it's on hard. Now these 4 destroyers are actually going to be all I have against the MOAB, because the Arctic wind, or the ice tower, doesn't do anything against MOABs. And I've got quite a bit of money. I could buy, or sell that and buy something else that is better against MOABs, but meh, I don't want to. Just because I don't want to sell stuff right now. Not in a selling mood. Let's see, what else was I going to talk about? Super Mario 3D World is the newest Mario game, and honestly, I know I was just talking about how I only play games that have a history and all that, but just from watching people play it online, like on YouTube, it makes me really want to play it. Like, it just seems like such a great game. And again, I'm definitely not sponsored. I wish I was sponsored by Nintendo to say good things about a Mario game that I've seen. Like, it's an amazing game. I would definitely recommend it to anyone that has enough money to get it and enough time to play it, I guess. But it just seems like such a great game, just because of all the what would you say, the references, I guess, to previous games or other games and stuff. Like, it's just, I don't know, that game just looked really awesome. But, let's see, I'm actually going to use, yeah, I'll use a glue gunner in combination with this ice tower, which should, with this combo, should be pretty good against the ceramic clumps, because the destroyers, while they do have awesome attack rate, they're probably not going to do very good against the ceramic clumps. So, I probably should have got the glue splatter before the glue dissolver. But no problem, because I don't have to deal with ceramic clumps for a while. Don't even have to deal with any other MOABs for a while. And actually, I just remembered, I didn't do too well against those MOABs. So I should actually try doing something about that. Get that glue splatter. Glue splatter. For some reason that reminded me of like blood splatter. But anyways, let's see. I actually kind of want to get a monkey ace. No real reason. Just kind of feel like it. I'm actually going to save up for a bloom liquefier. Again, no real reason. I just feel like that might be a good idea, maybe. And alright, so it took a long time to get rid of that MOAB. And then it has to go up to the ice tower to really get destroyed. So that's kind of a bad thing, because of how long it takes to get rid of the MOAB. And obviously now it's going to take a little bit longer because they weren't focusing on the MOAB quite fast enough or early enough. So I'm definitely going to need something to beat the MOABs. I don't want to keep using MOAB maulers because I use them all the time. I could use Dartling guns because they're good, spike factories, balloon chippers, decent, but not quite enough. I think I will go with the monkey ace, except this time I always go with the what's it called? The left side upgrade, I already forgot, never miss targeting. But I'm actually going to go with the monkey ace, or not the monkey ace, the Operation Dartstorm. And I'm probably not going to use Ground Zero just because, I don't like activated abilities, so I'm not going to rely on it. But I will go with the Operation Dartstorm, and I'm actually going to build a couple of them. I always try to line these up as well as I can, but I'm always off by like 1 frame or 1 pixel. Not 1 frame, it wouldn't be 1 frame, but come on. I'm trying to get as close as I can and as in line with it as I can. It just usually takes a minute to get as close as I can. I'm trying to make trying to take even more time and be more careful with this one. That's good. Alright, so anyways, moving on. Let's see, get that in the same circular path. Not sure if having them in the same path is actually helpful or not, but having these will be nice, I guess, for just those extra random dart attacks that occasionally hit the MOAB. Like I said, occasionally, but would be a little bit helpful to pop the MOABs. And of course, once you get down to like the BFB and stuff, then it's not going to be quite as good. I so wish you could combine the Operation Dartstorm with the Never Miss Targeting, because that would be incredible. But obviously you cannot. Yeah. Alright, so now I've got 2 Operation Dartstorms, which again will be helpful against just random clumps, and generally helpful with the MOABs, but not the most helpful thing in the world. Let's see. What else can I get? I could get snipers to help with the MOABs, but I don't really like snipers that much. I think at one point I said they were one of my favorite towers, but I don't know what I was thinking. Let's see, just get this up a little bit more. One more. And dang it, no, no, right? Okay, so there we go. That is just slightly off. Oh well, it's fine. It's gonna bug me, but you know, it's fine. Who cares? I don't care that it's just that slightly little bit off, and just yeah, okay, I'm gonna sell it. Just because it's so close, so close. There, is that good? Yeah, that's good enough. All right. Yeah. All right. So, anyways, now I'm gonna get that 3rd Operation Dartstorm, and then I'm gonna do something that I've shown off before in one of my videos. But once I get sharper darts, and then once I get to the end of this wave, and I'm not even sure if this is necessarily a good idea, but it can be easily fixed if it's a bad idea. So save, then quit. Wait a second. Load, and now. Wait for it. Now all my monkey aces, my Operation Dartstorms are all synced up together. And the one on the right seems a little bit farther away than the one on the left, which is kind of lame, but oh well. So now all the darts are kind of together in their firing, which again, I'm not really sure if that's a good idea or a bad idea, but it works, I guess. It's enough, and really, I don't know why I got Operation Dartstorm. They're not really going to be that helpful. I mean, I'm sure they do have their uses, but I'm not aware of how useful they are. It's just, it does look cool. I do enjoy the designs that the darts make, but I don't really know what else to do. Again, I could use snipers, I could use super monkeys, I could use wizards, I could use bomb towers, dart monkeys, tack shooters. I think I said ninjas. I mean, I could use a bunch of other stuff to defeat the MOABs. Obviously, I am able to defeat the MOABs at this point. It's just whether or not I'm able to defeat the BFBs, which, again, I should have saved. But I did save kind of recently with the with the Operation Darkstorm sync. But let's see. If I lose on this round, which yeah, obviously I won't, but if I was to lose on that round, then I would go back and sell my Operation Darkstorms, and then buy either Never Miss Targeting or some other tower. Just because obviously Operation Darkstorm is not the most amazing thing in the world. Ground Zero is obviously what they're most useful for, but I don't like using activated abilities. Especially not Ground Zero, just because I don't like the whole wiping the screen concept. Not necessarily because it's bad to wipe the screen, it's just, again, I always dislike the way that I explain what I'm about to explain, even though I know I'm going to explain it wrong. I want my overall popping power to be consistent and not relying on a temporary boost in an activated ability, because then there's going to be a point where I'm going to rely on the activated ability, but it's not going to be ready, and then I'm going to lose, and that's not always 100% the truth, or like what's going to happen, but it's what I'm always afraid of happening, so I prefer not to deal with it by just not getting activated abilities, which I'm going to sell that. I said I wasn't in a selling mood, but oh hey, it's round 63, which is when I was going to be using those for their most effectiveness. Oh well. I can just get in a Glaive Lord to help out with these ceramic lumps, which obviously Ice Tower is also very helpful with. Let's see. Viral Frost will also help out with these ceramic lumps, as well as the Glaive Lord, of course. Alright. So now that I've done that, I don't know, what do I do with my life? Now here, when all the MOABs are bunched together, that is helpful for the Operation Darkstorm, just because of they have good pierce with their darts. I think they pierce 12, about 8 bloons each. Alright, so they pop 8 bloons each, and there's 3 of them. That's like 24 bloons per stream. There's like 8 streams, so that's like 192, I think. 192 if it's 8 times, or 8 times 24. Yeah, because then that's 116 and 32, so yeah, 192. If every single dart hit its maximum amount of bloons. Obviously, there's a lot of darts that are just going right off the screen, so I'm not getting 192 every single shot, which is like 2 or 3 times per second, so that's another, like, I kind of want to do the math, but I don't want to make myself stop thinking and stop talking just to do the math. Let's say it's going 3 times per second, and it's doing 192 per shot, which means 192 times 3, which is essentially 8 less than 200, so that's 24 less than 600, which is 576. So that'd be 576 bloons per second if every dart was hitting a bloon, I think. Maybe? I don't know. Oh man. Oh well, I don't know why I spent the time to do that. Kind of weird in that I kind of like math and doing math in my head and doing those kinds of multiplication, big-ish numbers and all that. Just because I haven't really done that much math in a while, which is kind of lame. Math is important, even though a bunch of kids in school are always like, I hate math, it's all nerdy and difficult and I don't understand it, blah blah blah. It's really good to know math, like more than just your multiplication tables, even though just knowing your multiplication tables is pretty good. But there's just a lot of good things that you can do when you know math. Obviously, this being a very poor example because it's barely anything, but if anyone ever says that, oh, I'm never going to use math, you are always going to use math. No matter how simple math it is or how difficult the math it is, you are always going to be using math. And wouldn't it be greater to have the ability to do difficult math problems when you need it rather than not know it and then be like, oh hey, I need to know math, but I never learned it. Great, now what am I going to do? Like, again, I'm terrible at explaining things, but just, yeah, stay in school and stuff and learn math. Obviously, the other subjects are good too. History, that's the one I have a problem with. When am I ever going to care about history? I mean, obviously, you know, good for decision making, I guess, for like politics, but in general, day-to-day life, I'm generally not going to know why history is important. I mean, obviously it's good to know it. I can't really can't really talk about how math is so important and then just go on talking about how I don't like history, but history is generally my weaker subject, weakest, and you know, I'm just gonna sell these towers, which I don't know, they were probably helpful right now because there's just so many balloons on the screen, but Glaive Lord is obviously so much more useful. And you know what? Just for the sake of showing it off, I'm going to show off one of these aircraft carriers, which essentially act like a Operation Dartstorm, just on a smaller scale. If you can kind of follow it, it's kind of hard to see just because of all the darts going around. But there's these little airplanes going around, shooting out darts like the Monkey Ace. And see, this is why I was thinking it'd be cool if you could put a Monkey Ace on an aircraft carrier, and then just add an extra plane going around or something. And these are actually really tiny planes compared to the Monkey Ace. Maybe they're just flying closer to the ground or something. But what else? I'll build another one. The only problem I have with this is that, one, there's a bunch of darts on the screen and it makes it kind of hard to tell what's going on, but also it loses its Dreadnought ability, so it's not able to pop lead, which is why I'm going to keep these two as Dreadnoughts, just because it's helpful to have those as lead popping. But what's really interesting is that if you use a Monkey Village, which I'm actually going to use right now just for the sake of using one and showing this concept, not really sure why I bought that one, but if you give it the Jungle Drums upgrade, normally you can see that three planes are on the screen at once, which actually right now it seems like there's only two, but yeah, there's three. It's just that some of them are going back. So yeah, there's three planes on the screen at once right now. But once I get the Jungle Drums, then there will be 4 at a time, just because the attack rate is also controlling how many planes are shot out at one time, I guess, if that makes sense. But now that I've increased attack rate, now you can see that at some point, maybe, I think, yeah, at very brief moments, there are actually 4 planes that are going around. And I kind of want to sell a bunch of stuff just to get something that'll increase the attack speed even more. That'd be really expensive. I'm actually going to go for the Monkey Engineer, which I'm actually going to intentionally try to place it in an area where it's not doing that much, although a larger surface area, that's going to help out even more. Anyways, I'm going to try to upgrade it to the overclock just to see how much faster the attack rate will be. But let's see. I kind of want to sell all this stuff because that would be quite a bit of money. But then obviously that would get rid of some of my popping power. Whew, that's a lot of darts on the screen because not only does it increase the plane production, but also the plane's attack speed, I think. So there's even more darts that are appearing, and of course that noise that you might be hearing is the lead, or the darts going onto the lead. And also something that I don't think I've ever mentioned in the video before. Occasionally there have been a couple of videos where the audio of the game is not necessarily corrupted, but it's sort of glitched out or processed wrong or something, and the very beginning of the audio kind of slowed down, and then that made the game audio off sync with everything that's actually going on, which was really frustrating because this is one of those games where you can't really just like, oh, okay, I'll just do everything again. I mean, obviously you could technically do that, but like obviously I'd already have the metal and everything, so I don't want to deal with that. Anyways, so what was I saying? Alright, because the audio was desynced, I would just turn off the game audio when I was on those videos. I think it's only happened like 2 or 3 times, but just in case any of you were wondering about that, there were a couple episodes where I had to turn off the game audio in the video just because it was desynced and it was bothering me. Even though I hardly ever watch my videos. I watch a little bit when I'm editing, but I never really just sit through and watch it, which is why I applaud you for sitting through all of my boringness. But I mean, it is a little bit more boring for me just because I lived it. I already went through this. I know what's going to happen, so it's not that big a deal to me. But let's see, you know what? I'm actually going to sell the ice tower. It is really useful, but I'd really like to get that overclock ability going, so that now this one has increased attack speed a little bit. So here, it actually has double attack speed. So those are a lot of darts on the screen. Probably going to cause some lag, but you can tell, like, occasionally there's 2 planes that come out, and then there's just 1. I'm not sure if it's exactly double speed or just almost double speed or something. Which I'm actually going to sell this Glaive Lord in order to buy the Call to Arms once I get enough money. Still using these for the lead popping, but wow, those are a lot of darts all over the screen. Alright, increase it again. I'm not sure exactly how well that's stacked. See, this is actually a good time to check how well these abilities stack with you when you have multiple overclock abilities. So yeah, that's interesting. And ooh, wow, that's a bunch of ceramics. But obviously all of these darts, because there's so many darts going around on screen, they'll be able to destroy those ceramic clumps, those camo ceramic clumps. Camo-ramic clumps? I don't know. Let's see. I think this might actually be enough to defeat the ZOMG. And in case you're wondering, this is why I don't use the aircraft carrier as much, because, oh, that was weird. It looked like the overclock ability sort of wore off, even though it still had the light on it. That was strange, but, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, this is why I don't really use the aircraft carrier, because it just throws a bunch of darts on the screen, and it's harder to see what's going on, I guess, and kind of causes lag on the later areas, especially if you have a bunch of these and you have even more attack speed increase. But let's see. Yeah, so I built this second monkey village to decrease the cost of the Call to Arms, and then I'm going to sell it again. But there's nothing really else that I want to buy. Just gotta wait for round 85 with the ZOMG just to really put this strategy to the test, because there's so many darts on the screen, and wow, that's craziness. But the planes, they actually sort of fly in different patterns. You might have noticed by now. They sort of fly towards where all the balloons are, which is kind of interesting. And you know what? Because there's so many, no, I don't want to use the Call to Arms ability, because I don't want to risk it being on cooldown when the ZOMG appears, which actually wouldn't be that bad of a thing, because then I could just sell and then rebuy the tower. But because of Monkey Tycoon, whenever I'm dealing with a tower that has an activated ability, I can always just sell the tower and then build it again, because I sell it for the same amount of money that I paid for it. And then I'll be able to have that ability ready again. Just because of being able to sell it, gets rid of the ability, buy it again, get the ability again, type of thing. So yeah, there's that. If you have Monkey Tycoon, there's a way to just spam activated abilities if you're fast enough to just sell it and rebuild it quickly. And if you have Monkey Tycoon, or you just have a whole bunch of money, then you could do that without Monkey Tycoon. But obviously then you'd be losing a bunch of money whenever you do that, especially if it's an expensive tower like this one, because that is really expensive. Obviously the Super Monkey is more expensive, but still, you know what I mean. Let's see, what else? What else can I buy that'll increase attack speed? That's all I can think of that would increase attack speed. The Boomerang Thrower has its own ability that increases attack speed. Then if you combine it with the Overclock and the increased attack speed from that, then that'd be pretty awesome. But obviously there's so many darts on the screen, I don't think I need to try to increase the stacking ability of the Overclock ability. Alright, so I'm almost done. Almost there. Alright, and again, ranked 64. Woo, Nintendo 64. Shout out to you, I guess. I don't know. I don't know to talk. Random topic. For any of you that might. Yeah, alright. The Nintendo Wii U In case for some reason any of you don't know, that's the console, the next gen console after the Wii. It is its own separate console. It's not just the gamepad, because I know there's been some confusion about that. But I really want it, obviously, and I'm not going to ask any one of you to pay for it, and obviously you have every right to not help me buy it, but I was just wondering if it would be successful to try to start like a Kickstarter or an Indiegogo for me to get the Wii U, because I'm pretty sure I would be able to record gameplay on it, so I could do a Let's Play of some Wii U games. Obviously there aren't that many Wii U games out that are that amazing, but Super Mario 3D World, like I said, that's pretty amazing, but I really need to finish New Super Mario Bros. Wii, and then New Super Mario Bros. U. That would also be a nice game to play as a Let's Play. But the reason I'm hesitant about starting a Kickstarter, one, because if it fails, then I still have to pay money, I think, to Kickstarter, but also because of the whole Q&A session that didn't end up happening because only one person asked me a question and I knew that person in real life, so you could just talk to him in real life and I didn't have to make an answer video. But in case you don't know, I did make a Q&A video where you could ask me questions and then I'd answer them in another video, but then no one asked me any questions, so that's why I didn't post an answer video. You could still ask me questions on there if you want, and I'll try to answer them just in a regular video, or if there's enough questions for some reason, then I'll actually make my own separate answer video. But now this is round 85, and now I'm going to send in the overclock and the call to arms ability, so that's just going to cover the screen in darts, I think, even though right now it doesn't seem like the overclock ability is actually doing anything. But just massive dart storm madness stuff, I guess. Apparently, kind of. It doesn't seem to actually be doing as much as I thought it would. But let's throw on another overclock, and because this ran out, I'm actually going to sell it, and then buy another one, and activate it again, and just massive attack rate, just a stream, solid beam of darts, and lag, and wow, that was a lot of darts. I'm actually going to keep playing in free play mode just to watch all of these darts flying all over the screen. That is ridiculous. So many darts. Oh man, try to pause and count them all, that'd be amazing. But no, don't actually try to pause and count them all, that'd be ridiculous. And just as they go off screen, and alright. That was actually pretty interesting to see how many darts could actually fit on the screen. I'm sure I could fit more with double cache and like getting to around 100 or whatever. But anyways, yeah. Oh yeah, I have enough, and I really shouldn't buy it right now, because if I don't have enough money before I continue on the next level, it'd be really lame. But you know what, I'm going to buy it right now, because I don't care. Attack Optimizer, so I'm going to be using the road spikes and the, what's called Spike Factories on Monday. Hopefully, you know, if all goes according to plan. Knock on wood, this desk, I'm not sure if that's wood or not, but oh well. That's it for this episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.